Yes, everyone, you know what time it is. 2-2 post North London Derby. Like I said before, we're not feeling the doom and gloom. We got the smiles, we got the smirks. We're feeling good. We're riding out the weekend vibes. Ange Postecoglou is bringing on the big choo-choo train of happy clapping. Over on the other side of things, they're probably tearing each other apart by limb, questioning the Lego man, questioning everything that's gone, over the past 5 years or however long it's been with the guy. Whereas us, we're just on cloud nine in a whole new space and a whole new time, feeling just the vibes of Ange Postecoglou. And we're going to be feeling the vibes through Twitter Reacts. One of my favorite things to do after a win is just to see how the Spurs universe on Twitter has to respond and see what they have to say. Lots of good stuff in here, Dave. We love Twitter React.
No, Jack, we do. Especially after win, like you alluded to, right? It's one of my favorite shows of the week. It's where the Spurs fans are really at their best, and I cannot wait to see what the Spurs fans make of today's result, Jack. We've turned Arsenal from contenders into pretenders. So let's see if the Spurs fan base agree with us.
Yes, and someone who's going to probably be all over Twitter for the next few days is a certain Paul Merson. And I don't really feel bad for him, but I feel bad for maybe, Elon Musk's, maybe Twitter, kind of analytics, because it's going to be blowing up, with Paul Merson. He's being quote tweeted every single second. People have been responding to him. He's pretty much as deep in the mud as you possibly could find yourself. He's saying, can't wait for, this was 13 hours ago, everybody, last night, and he said, can't wait for the North London Derby. Come on, you Gunners. Can't see anything happening but an Arsenal win. Well, looks like that didn't happen there, Paul.
Jack, what this needs is an optician company to, use this tweet as part of an advert campaign, is what I would say, because clearly he needs help with his eyesight or with his vision.
Well, Paul maybe also needs some help with, who you put your money on and who you put your bets on. Simon Yemaine saying, what is the point of VAR?
Yeah.
And with that image right there, it's a good question, Simon. And I also feel like if I were to get really riled up about the referee, it's not as much the penalty that, they were given. It's more kind of moments like this where I just really don't understand sort of, the decision making, because that is the definition of a reckless challenge. It's the definition of a dangerous challenge. It feels like I was having a conversation earlier with Mia and Michael, but like Michael was trying to say, well, maybe they would have given it a red, maybe if he actually did, hit him with his studs up. And I sort of said, what? So if he actually broke his leg, then it would have been a red card? I mean, it just seems like, one of those challenges where it is a red card because it's reckless, it's dangerous. And also, like, in comparison to the Emerson second yellow, like, it's just all, it's just all hypocritical. It's just all, it's infuriating. And it's one of those that I think is probably going to look down as probably one of the worst decisions of this season. Just as a random sort of moment, of refereeing, there's just no explanation for that. With that image right there is no explanation for that. You can't even see the ball in the image. Yeah. You can't even see the ball in the image.
He's late. It's reckless. And if you watch it, he jumps into it, right? So he's out of control as well. Can't believe it wasn't given a red card, but it's just another, sort of long list of what Rob Jones has done to help Arsenal. The yellow card to Udogie instead of giving it to Saka before that changed the game. The penalty changed the game, and also that if he would have sent him off, Arsenal would have had to retreat it. We would have broken down and come out with 3 points. So Rob Jones, well done, you prick.
Come on, Pedro, there he is. Strong fight shown today. I enjoyed that fight. We will take this point and continue to push it to achieve more. Absolutely love it there, Pedro. I'm having a problem where I'm obsessed with both of our right backs. Like, I love them both, and I don't know what to do with myself. Usually, people have a preference between, the two, but I love Emerson and Pedro Porro just too much, really. I think they're actually pretty much some of my favorite players in this team, really. Absolutely love their mentalities. And another great performance from my man Pedro. Mickey Hazard saying, hey, Merce, your boys are going to slaughter us today. What happened to that, mate? Where was the slaughter? Dodgy pen as well, too. Just let me get back to that just quickly. No, I'm not letting that escape there, Mickey Hazard. Absolutely love it. Just quickly, let me get back down to it. Just let me find you there, Mickey. And he says, this is where he says, where was the slaughter today? Dodgy pen, too, and it still didn't happen. Maybe next time. Hey, come on, you Spurs, Mickey Hazard, one of the many. after Paul Merson this evening. Don't stop there,
Still
Mickey.
fully coys. Still fully coys, Jack. Oh, it's great to see.
Oh, easily, fully, always. Jermaine Jean-esque saying complete S house of a referee. They're all ruining the game. Jermaine Genius fully coys. I mean, he's incensed. Clearly, he was watching this game back, and he clearly couldn't take it.
Well, look, Jack, right? They were making bad errors, which led to VAR being brought in. And since VAR has been brought in, it's making them more controversial than ever. But it's also took a lot of the passion out of the game. So he's absolutely spot on. All around, they're absolutely killing the game that we love. And to bring in VAR, which is a failsafe, and still not come to correct decisions and still be inconsistent right across the board throughout different games over the weekend, and you see decisions in one game given, not given in another, it's absolutely shocking. And, with all the money that's in football and that's pumped into teams and players, wages, staff, etc., they need to start pumping money into the standard of refereeing to bring it up to that level.
Cootie Romero on Twitter today saying, getting up and following this is what it's all about. Let's all go together as usual. Thank you for the support as always. Cootie Romero, no worries, my friend. We'll always be behind you. And I also like the fact that, he's always talking about the future. He's always talking about, the next step. He celebrates the win, but then he's always about the process. He's always about the path, the road. I believe he refers to it as El Camino. So, Romero, you stay on that El Camino, my friend. Mark Goldbridge saying, ref is a complete tool. Just books both Spurs midfielders, one for complaining. Has he no concept that this is a derby? Far too many soft fouls, far too many, easy fouls given to Arsenal for what was a derby. I mean, Dave, we all know that the referee is going to probably give them the benefit of the doubt. He's going to give maybe more calls to Arsenal than he is to Spurs. But the amount of soft fouls that were given on the day, not a derby. Not for a derby.
No, it's a joke. But look, when you see the guy coming out with the haircut he's had, it's clear that he's been in contact with Arsenal and their barber. But Jack, I think he also understands the concept of a brown envelope, right? And that's why they got the decisions they did.
Billy saying, we'll take that all day. Been a great start to the season, but today was our first proper test, and we took it to one of the best sides in the league. I've never seen us play ball like that at their ground ever. I'm loving every second of this Postecoglou journey. Yeah. I believe we all are. Billy, let's join the choo-choo train of happy clapping. I think Mia is, the conductor of it. Let's all get in, the caboose and just, ride it with her. Simon Yemaine saying, it doesn't matter how much you boo, how many PR firms you can pay to fabricate an atmosphere, how many guys you send, Son will still always own your club. Absolute legend there, Simon. And I must say, the jab at the PR firms bragging about, the atmosphere to fabricate it. Absolutely love that too. You don't need to talk about Spurs' atmosphere. You always know it's going to be good. You always know it's going to be loud. But, the library, the empty Emirates, it's just, they had to probably hype it up, make it sound, more intimidating, and much more into it than it really is. And this is their big game every year that they probably get more up for than any of the rest of the games. And they looked pretty quiet for a lot of periods of it, Simon. They looked pretty quiet.
Yeah. Not surprised with them, Jack. There's a reason why we used to call it the library. They only started bouncing up and down when they benefited from a piss poor league and 4 teams dropping off last season. Now that they're back to reality, they're bored shitless, and it's back to the library.
Back to the library mode, and it's a mode that they're comfortable in. So I'm sure that it won't take too long for them to be back into it. Kind of in sort of a regular mode, as maybe some would call it. But let's see what George says. Saka dropping this celebration only to get spun by Maddison 20 minutes later is absolutely crazy. Yeah, and to be honest, like with Maddison, he had a pretty nice dig at him later too. He even said that him and Saka had been trading some trash talk or some banter between themselves during international duty. And then also he even said in a Spurs Play interview that he must have still been doing that celebration after he spun him later to set up the goal for Sonny, which I thought was absolute top class work there from James Maddison. You don't really get that often from Spurs players, right? He's cheeky, James.
Yeah, very cheeky, and I absolutely love it, Jack. This is the new mentality. Take no shit, And you know what I love about it, Jack? The fact that they're willing to talk a bit of smack as well. You look at Saka there today. He thought he was brilliant, unbelievable. He thought he was a comedian, doing that celebration twice. But, Maddison, okay, you can go and do that celebration. I'll use it as motivation and I'll spin you. Now you look like a twat. And that's exactly what happened. So big up, Maddison. Absolutely love that. And the fact that we're giving it back, brilliant. It's a shame that no one, What we should have done is when Son scored, Maddison should pretend to be a goalkeeper, and Son should have missed the penalty and imitate him and see how he likes it.
Billy saying, "Wait, Chelsea lost? He's done. He's done out here, isn't he?" I almost feel sorry for him at this stage. Almost feel sorry for him. Unlucky, mate. Yeah, you made your choice, Pochettino, and I'm gonna stick by what I said. I thought it was kind of funny that a lot of, I mean, the choice of the words of traitor, all those kind of words maybe are a bit strong. I can I can admit, but I don't know. I stand by a lot of what I said about Pochettino. I think he made his bed. He decided to go to Chelsea. He claimed to have this huge love for us and this sort of passion for us and everything. He decided to go over to the other side. It's not working out for him. And I think now he looks kind of silly. Maybe plenty feel like Daniel Levy should have been the bigger man, as he probably should have been the bigger man. But I don't know. I think Pochettino also could have maybe looked at things and maybe gone about things a bit differently. And yeah, I don't feel sorry for him one bit. Simon Humane says, bad start, yellow card, first North London derby, away win, and an incredibly hostile, or away draw, and I keep acting like it's one. Very embarrassing. An incredibly hostile environment under immense pressure. Nothing phases my guy Udogie. Elite mentality, especially considering he is only 20 years old, blows me away every single week. Is this another kind of page in the Udogie chapter, Dave, of just, his brilliance and mentality? Maybe this is the page for mentality, right? That he's shown that today. That's another side of his game, maybe, that we're now seeing.
Yeah, absolutely, Jack. The way he didn't, he's walking a tightrope, right, and everything has to be absolutely perfect there on after that, and it was. And he didn't give up battling all day long. He could have easily, given up altogether, dropped off, called other people over to help him, which I've seen Spurs players do in the past. Sure. He didn't do it. He stood up like a man, stood tall, shoulders out, chest puffed out. Let's go. Let's have an absolutely unbelievable performance from the big dog. And he's got Salah next week. Look, let's be honest, Jack, right? Bar the deflected goal and the penalty, Saka had no influence on the game down that side.
He didn't have as many dangerous moments as he usually does in a game. And that's where, Udogie at least caused him some problems and some frustrations. He didn't have as many moments as he usually does. And he's usually their main creative threat. And they try to get him the ball as much as they can because they know that he's their main creative threat. And he didn't have as many influential moments that I can really think of. That's a good point there. Adam Richmond, some of the worst damn officiating I have ever seen. A lot of comments, I must say, on the officiating. Let me go down to it again to Adam. I mean, it's funny because I feel like I need to hear more opinions, right, from other fans and stuff, because it really seems to be something that, despite the draw, still on people's mind. And that was the case with Sheffield, by the way, too. It felt like everybody was like, I know we got the win, I know we got the great result, but the referees, again, I don't want to keep talking about them, but it feels like people have to. But Adam Richmond saying some of the worst damn officiating I've ever seen. I can't wait to see the ref reveal his red and white shirt underneath. Trash cards, especially after the foul on Udogie. It felt like the cards were given at times that didn't make sense, right? And they were also given for challenges that weren't really as much yellow cards as maybe other challenges that weren't given as yellow cards. You look at maybe the moment when it was Udogie got absolutely clocked, I forget by whatever player, and that wasn't ever blown up as a yellow card. Felt like Kulusevski had a few times where he was kind of taken down and, kind of pushed around and things like that, maybe a bit too much that he should have probably, or we could have gotten a yellow card in their case for them. So I don't know. It's just, I'm with you, Adam. Yeah, Dave.
You can't expect the referee to book a player that is going to be sitting across the dinner table from there on that evening, Jack. So it's not good etiquette, right? But look, you go back to the starts at the first half, right? When we got in at half time, we had 3 yellow cards, committed 9 fouls. They had 1 in 7. So therefore, the referee's giving us cards 3 times the rate quicker than what he was to Arsenal. Yeah. But yet, I'd argue they made more cynical fouls than we did. How does that work out?
Yeah, there were more cynical fouls in their case. That is a good point. Joe Devine saying, football is broken. If that's a penalty, it's on the verge of making the game pointless. The more I talk about it, I feel like it's probably in the bracket of, right, you're being punished for having arms, sort of kind of thing, where how can you really expect to make the challenge that he's making without having your arm in some way kind of dangling or in some way kind of out there? And it's not like he egregiously put it out there to obviously block it or anything like that either. And so I could see how a lot of people kind of feel like it's one of those where it's like you're kind of just being punished for having arms. I do feel like I've seen it given a lot of times though, and that might be more to do with just the rules, right? And just the fact that the referees just kind of seem to give those, even if we feel like they're not, really true penalties or not. Yeah.
Look, Jack, we can sit here and moan about it, right? But look, if you're the striker and that wasn't given, you'd be absolutely livid. You'd be raging. He's stopping. If he doesn't hit his hand, it's going in the back of the
That's
net.
my feeling. Yeah.
Let's be brutally honest about it. Look, it's a penalty. I get what
It's
people are
interesting though,
saying.
right? A lot of debate about it, more than I thought. Like more than I thought. Like to be
Yeah,
honest.
more than I thought, and I get it. Probably because it's a big call in the derby, Jack. And look, let's be honest, right? Break it down. Romero has a split second to react.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, if I'm the striker, I am absolutely livid if I'm not given that penalty.
I agree. That's how I sort of feel about it. Heung-min's son Heung-min is the first ever Tottenham player to score twice in a Premier League North London derby at the Emirates. That is a pretty good. Of all the, you always hear crazy stats all the time. You always hear crazy sort of like whatever sort of categories or lists that people are a part of. They're only so big, but that is one. That is a cool one. That's, it's not a trophy of any kind, but that is a cool one to be a part of, right? That's a small list, and it shows how many games we've gone where just we haven't had the attacking enjoyment that we did today, and as many opportunities. And Sonny, once again, showing that he can show up against the Arsenal. He does know how to show up against them, that's for sure. And he couldn't be happier with himself, I would think, after today. LJ 1882 saying, I've always liked Saka, not anymore, not because of the age. Sorry, going to go back down to you there, LJ. Let me catch up with you, my friend. He says, I've always liked Saka, not anymore, not because of the goal, but for the celebration. A lot of people not happy with Saka, and I kind of felt the same way. Of all the Arsenal players, I kind of don't really mind him, or I find him probably the least easy to, or he's harder to hate, compared to the others in that team. But after today, I didn't really care for that celebration at all. I really did not like it. Didn't see it necessary. Found it to be a bit weird, to take again. I get it. He wants to kind of be cheeky. He wants to just sort of add a little bit of rivalry and spice to it. And maybe he has that side to him, but. Yeah, I didn't care for it. Didn't mind it too much, to be honest, LJ 1882. And I think he learned his lesson, and I think he ended up being pretty embarrassed by it. And let's go to your man, Dave. Gal, this is the tweet that we had to say from 7 hours ago. Tottenham Hotspur cannot handle our press. They cannot come to the Emirates thinking that they can play that sort of football. You're going to get humbled.
He never learns. He never learns, Jack. Ego never learns.
He told you that you never learn.
Yeah, see, this is the thing, right? He also told me he was going to turn up for some predicted, combined 11 content, pre-match, pre-North London Derby content, and bailed out the last minute. So, look, what I would say is, Jack, I think we need to get Jason Cundy on the air tonight and start calling, where's Ego? But... Look, he has come out with an admission since, which is great to see. Backing up Tottenham, and that he really didn't understand and praised much. So fair play to him on that regard. But every gunner's a runner. He ran, Jack, and
it's the thing they know how to do best. It's the thing they're best at, and you can't blame them for it. So, Gal, next time you think about the running, maybe just come on over to the IrishHotspur. We don't bite. We're not mean or anything like that. Come on over, get your homework. Handed to you by the big Dave. We have Axel thfc saying Saka thinks he's hard for doing someone else's celebration after a deflected goal. That's also that's actually probably a better statement from what I brought up earlier. Actually, Axel, it's not that. It's just kind of an annoying celebration they did. It's more the fact that it wasn't even that great of a goal. Like, it was just sort of like, it was lucky. Like, as well, it was completely handed to him by Romero and by even Udogie, giving him all that space. Like, it's just sort of kind of like, I mean, really? I don't know. Of all the goals to do that sort of celebration, you would think you would have at least have created it yourself, or you would have at least had some sort of kind of class to, the goal. But I don't know. Can't really expect Arsenal players to be classy, I guess.
What is he, 2 years of age? I mean, I remember I used to do the Robbie Keane celebration. I used to practice that and do that. I mean, honestly.
It's a bit of a FIFA
the guys
thing.
are fully... He's a fully fledged Premier League player, and he can't even come up with his own celebration. I mean, it's just embarrassing. Like your man says, he thought he was hardy, and Maddison says, "Okay, hold my beer."
It's like those people in FIFA doing like the gritty celebrations and stuff from like
Yeah,
sweaty goals and everything. Yeah, it's a bit like that.
2 yard
Uh,
tapping.
Kay saying Saka doing the Maddison celebration is really weird in my opinion. Why would you mock your international teammate? I don't know. Okay, but I guess they had a bit of banter between each other. Maybe there's just a bit of rivalry between the two, which I like. And Maddison turned out to be the victor. Jacko saying we cannot get too much excited. Or we can't get too excited. Arsenal had very important players not playing today. For example, Odegaard.
Uh,
That's a good one.
absolutely
That's a
quality.
good one. That's a good
Absolutely quality. That's a good one.
one. Just quickly though, Dave. I mean, would you make anything of it feels like Martinelli is a huge loss. Trossard is a huge loss, like on that left side. I would say though, like Gabriel Jesus is a good player, and he would have been in that starting 11, I think, no matter what. So think about it that way. Like he ended up still being in the team, and he still caused some danger. But I don't know, like other than that, like Jurien Timber, like come on, like he's been out for the majority of the season. Like you have to just accept it, as have we at times with Bentancur. We've just accepted, right? He's not with us, not available. He's out for a long time. You just kind of learn to deal with it, basically, or you just learn to accept that that person's not available. And I forget one of the other players that they said too wasn't available. I think it was Thomas Partey, maybe, or something. It's like you guys don't even really start him. You guys don't even play him really anymore, anyways. So I don't know. A lot of weird excuses. If anything, I'll give them Martinelli. I'll give because he is an effective player and he is one of their better ones. But the rest of them, I really won't, to be honest, because they don't even make the starting 11.
No, look, it's excuses, Jack. Right? You never heard them mention the injuries we had last season. They just called us shit. So that's exactly what they are. They're just shit. But look, cry. I need some water for my kettle. I need a good cup of tea tonight. So keep crying. I'm ready to collect.
The fighting, or Lisa saying laughed and or actually let me catch this. Lisa said laughed at and mocked at in the street by 4 men for being alone and wearing a Spurs shirt. Hope you all feel well hard now. Absolute idiots. Lisa. Take the pops. I love
Uh,
it, Lisa. There you are. The Fighting Cock saying 6 games versus 4 years and 750 million pounds invested. Just different stages of the process. One is very quick and very exponential with Ange Postecoglou, and then the other is a roller coaster Arteta Lego train, I guess, the Fighting Cock,
one's
and one's more expensive.
one's exciting and one's West Ham on steroids.
Pat saying this is why Paul Merson was having shit. I can't believe I love that. That's a great
Yeah.
tweet. That is a fabulous tweet. If anything kind of wins Twitter for the day, I do think this one for Pat in a way kind of does win Twitter. That is a
Yeah.
fabulous tweet. Simon Yemaine saying Maddison took it personally. Yeah, he did, my man. That he did. Absolutely ruining him there. Absolutely ruining him there. You can just see Saka still looking for him. Shannon as well saying, has anyone seen Pochettino? Has anyone seen Maurizio? Yeah, he's in the mud right now, Shan, and it's lovely to see. At least for me personally. Like I said, I don't have really much kind of love lost really there, and I'm glad to see that he's getting his rewards for picking the Chelsea job. Dave, this was the away end. These are the Spurs scenes. Look at the limbs there. So many limbs.
Oh, I'm so jealous I can't be a part of them, Jacko. It looks absolutely amazing. As we know, we've got the loudest and the best Spurs fans in the league. And you know what, Jack? It's great to see them to have something to celebrate, right? It's great to see these scenes. And it's been a while since they've had that sort of joy at the Emirates. So, I'm glad to see them enjoying it. Sonny equaliser. What more do you want? Because you got to remember, right? Arsenal fans, they would have been giving it the big in, after that goal. They would have been taunted Tottenham. They would have been singing at them, this, that, and the other. And before they could even get the first, or before they could even hit the chorus, someone has the ball in the back of the net. So eat that.
James Maddison on Bukayo Saka. He must have still been doing the dart celebration when I turned him for that first goal. Yeah, he must have been. Yeah, I guess he got a little full of himself. Must have been pretty happy with himself there. Flav saying this is what happens when your manager throws you under the bus and you're also a bit odd. Yeah, that is. It's sad to see like Ramsdale always being panned to. I'll be honest. It's a little ridiculous, but it's what the media is going to do, right? If Arteta does this and also doesn't even answer the question about it in the first place. When he was originally asked about it, he didn't really answer it in like a proper sort of kind of, I don't know, professional type of way. And so it's only going to invite more attention from the media. And yeah, it's leading to Ramsdale, doing some performative nonsense, to support his keeper. It is a
Who's
bit
the
silly.
suck up? Who's the suck up behind him? Look. Who's the suck up that copies him? Look, he goes, Ramsbottom goes next thing the other guy goes. It must be a coordinated effort, Zinchenko's on the pitch today, so Ramsdale takes over along with the physio or the tape boy, the irrelevant guy behind him.
Billy saying, I will never forget Brazil fans calling Jesus the Shrek cookie at the World Cup. The guy doesn't stop moaning for 1 second. Look at that face. It actually does look like Jesus. It's hilarious.
Crying all the time.
Shrek cookie. And last but not least, certainly not least, a big shout out to this man, Papa Matasar. What a performance. Kid absolutely ran his lungs out today. Absolute legend. And he says, good point away. Proud of the team. You should be proud of yourself, Mr. Matasar. Absolute terrific performance. Such good legs in midfield. You can do everything in there. And honestly, the sky is the limit for you. I must say, the sky is the limit for you. And the fact that, again, this guy's going to qualify as homegrown is even more stupid. That is just stupid, really.
The foresight to get him in, knowing what he's going to become. Absolutely unbelievable. But, Jack, I think it's a fitting way to end this. Good point away from home. Super proud of the team. The pride behind the boys is back. Everyone, let us know in the comment section your thoughts below on some of the stuff you've seen on the Twitter reacts, and also your thoughts on the result yesterday. But also, if you want to get involved, you simply at your boys on Twitter, share it with us, and we'll make sure to get it in on these post-match Twitter reacts. And thank you very much for tuning in. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
We trust. And the most important saying, which me and Jack caught on to very, very first, we never stop.
See you, everybody. Have a good one.